What is happening, everybody? Dirty D's right back up here in the hizzy. Hey, check this out, man. Oh, what was that? Dude, that looked like something nasty and bloody in the road. Anyway, so check it out, man. We are headed down to whatever's happening down at Travis Park. They say it's one of these peaceful protests around police brutality, etc. Hey, man, I'm just gonna go down there and document it. Like I always say, I don't take sides. I just show what's happening in the city. I will give you my thoughts on it a little bit later on, but first, of course, I want to check it out. So let's roll. Appreciate y'all. All right, so before we get to this next scene here, let me turn on this light. You're about to see the nastiest mustache in Texas. You ready? Yeah, a little nasty stash coming in. Why? I'm going to tell you a little side note. Can you believe they're putting me on an airplane this Sunday? I'm going to be flying to Orlando, Florida. I'll be there for about 2 weeks. I'm going to take you guys with me and document that whole thing. But they said you got to be clean shaven for this assignment. I said, man, I got to ease my way back into that. The sides are clean. The center piece is nasty as hell. But anyway, so check this out. What you're going to see in this next video. Let me set the stage. There is a stage. And a chick has a microphone. And she's talking about we're going to have a peaceful march, right? This guy gets up to the mic and he says, hey, I want to talk about my brother real quick. He was killed here in San Antonio during a police thing, whatever. And she says, you're going to hear her. She says, hey, this is not a Brown Lives Matter event. This is a Black Lives Matter event. And I'm like, what? Then this other dude in the audience, this white guy, he's got this sign, like a peace sign or I don't know what. And he says, all lives matter. She gets ticked off. She says, no, Black Lives Matter or something. Then this dude steps up. You're going to see all this here. He's wearing a mask and he says to her, who needs to get handled? Like he's going to go into the crowd and like beat somebody's ass. I'm like, dude, that was the first sign that I thought this thing could go a little bit squirrely. And you're going to find out that by the time I left, everything was cool. But then my brother started calling me up and he's like, dude, are you okay? Like, are you all right? Are you home? What's happening? Turns out they started tear gassing people. They started doing all this wild stuff. People started looting. I mean, it turned into a real fiasco, man. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on that here in a minute. Like I say, I'm just out here trying to document this stuff. I'm glad that I did. Check this out.
Hey, this ain't a brown person event, bro. This is a Black Lives Matter event. Get out of here. That's an adversary. Get out of here.
What?
Hey, watch out, Mark. Let me see this. Let me see my...
I'm like, yo, man, so as you can see, I got my little GoPro chest thing. I thought I would never even use this, but it seems to be working pretty good. Anyway, just documenting this thing. I'm not making a judgment call either way. What I will tell you is that people here are very, very passionate. All right, so another quick little play-by-play. What they're saying here is no justice, no peace, no racist police. I mean, we can all be on board with that, I think. I don't think anybody's like anti that. Makes sense to me. All right, check this out. I got a chance to talk to some of the police officers that were providing security. Cool dudes, you know. I mean, they had some good stuff to say, actually. I mean, they were actually kind of empathetic to the cause. So I'm gonna show you that here in a sec. Everything worked out. Yeah, it was good. It was peaceful, man. You know what? I've been born and raised in this city. I didn't expect anything weird to happen, man. We're pretty chill.
What I was telling people, we're not from here, but San Antonio's always my favorite city. That's good.
I think for the most part, people appreciate law enforcement, man.
Yeah. Like we tell people, man, there's bad apples. And that's unfortunate what happened.
Yeah, I know, man. It's, you know.
You ask any of us here, man, that was messed up. It was horrible.
It's messed up. More will come of it, you know. But
I'm glad
nothing like in Minneapolis where they're destroying.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Destroying their own town.
However, okay, so he says at least it's not like Minneapolis where people destroyed their own city. People actually did start looting in downtown San Antonio, and it really ticked us off because, well, you'll see here in a sec. All right, so I'm not going to show you too many more of these scenes because, I mean, to me, it's kind of depressing, man. You get the picture. Ended up police over the next few days firing rubber bullets at rioters and things like that. And here's how I'm just going to end it like this, okay? I'm going to give you a quick little message on how I feel about the whole situation. I think some of you feel the same way. George Floyd should have never died. He died at the hands of police officers, and you can't tell me that if they would have just cuffed him and stuffed him in the back of the squad car, that he would not be alive today. We already know that that's true. And you're going to have bad actors in every profession. Teachers, cops, priests. I mean, you name it, you're going to find some bad people out there. All right? It's up to all of us to make these changes and to push for change. And if you are a supporter of the police force, then you should be the ones on the front lines that are pushing for these changes. But it's not going to happen sitting in front of your computers on Facebook. And it's not going to happen by watching CNN and Fox News. In fact, I would challenge you to do this. If you're a Democrat, spend a week watching Fox News. And if you're a Republican, spend a week watching CNN. Or do what I do. If I'm going to look up news on the internet, I'm going to pull up Fox and then I pull up CNN. And I read through all of the headlines and then I go back through and read through the stories that I want to know more about. Or if they have similar headlines, I love reading the same story from those two different viewpoints, because you can see how people use words to manipulate and to persuade people. And, you know, we're not stupid. We know that those two news organizations, they're not fair and balanced, either one of them. They are pushing an agenda, but, you know, don't spend your whole life just focused in on one group and surrounding yourself with one group of people that are going to tell you that you're right. Challenge your own views. Go out to rallies like this. If you don't understand it or you don't even support it, go to the rally and be a bystander. It doesn't mean that you have to march. I didn't march. It doesn't mean that you have to chant. I didn't chant. I was out there trying to learn, trying to listen. And one of two things is going to happen. And by the way, if the flip side was true, if we had, you know, these white nationalist rallies going on in downtown San Antonio, you're darn sure I would be there to listen and to document and to watch these people like a hawk as well, because I want to know what's going on. I want to know all the different viewpoints. I don't want to just be surrounded by people who are feeding me my same beliefs. That doesn't do anything for anybody. So here's what I would suggest. Get out of your house, go listen to the folks, get out of there if anything weird's starting to happen. Rallies are good. Protests are good. That's what our country was built on. Riots are not. Those people belong in jail. Absolutely. Here's the other thing I would say. If you want to make real change, do it through the vote as well. Register to vote. I recently signed up to be volunteer with Rock the Vote, which is really about getting more people registered for voting. Today I went online here in Bexar County. I looked up voter registration, and I think I can actually do a little bit more here locally than with this National Rock the Vote thing. But there is a link I'm going to put in the description where you can register to vote through Rock the Vote. Maybe that's all I do with them and just focus more locally here in San Antonio. But it's so important. You know, you're going to have a lot of people who will tell you that your vote doesn't matter. Guess what? A lot of those same people are going to the polls and they are voting. They just don't want you to vote. Or some of those factions are groups that are either pushing for more restrictions on voting, or on the flip side, they're trying to loosen voting restrictions so much that all hell breaks loose. Anyhow, here's what I'm getting at, folks. Get your news from both sides. Be balanced. As motorcycle riders, do we get profiled? Absolutely, we get profiled. Has stuff happened that shouldn't happen because of that? Yeah, it has. But, you know, be smart about things. Spend some time off of Facebook. Spend some time away from your usual news station and go look at the other one for a while. Get both sides to every story. And you know, just getting back to the tragedy of what happened to George Floyd, man, to all his family, and he grew up here in Texas, all his family, man, and everything that's going on, just wishing everybody the best. And let's, let's make our country what it needs to be. All right, peace out, folks.